Good morning to the Monday morning inspiration for the joy of creation and the magic of art, creativity, and play. Good morning, I'm Bettina Madini. And what have you all been up to? What have you been creating? I'm really curious. I want to hear from you. I want to hear from you. So hello there, welcome. And today we are going, I don't know whether you saw this cool picture that I found with this woman holding an umbrella above her, and there's the night sky, and she has all these starry lights in her umbrella. I tried to find an umbrella like this for today, but I couldn't. I'm so sorry. So what's at risk with you following your joy? What's at risk? What would happen if you followed your joy? So here are some questions for you. What are you so afraid of that you cut off everything that gives you joy? Whose reality are you validating? What's at risk? So what is actually at risk? And what's it going to take for you to choose joy? Like, it's really an area where we have sort of learned that we must be like everybody else, that we cannot be different from them. We must not be too joyful. So let me know, how was that for you? How is that for you? What does joy mean to you? And what is that joyful you that you try to control? Thank you so much for joining live. This is really cool. So please chime in. Otherwise, I'm talking with myself and I might go into directions that apply less to you. So if there's anything, that this theme of today's Monday morning inspiration is bringing up for you, please let me know. Ask a question. Only if we ask a question can we change what is going on. Okay, a question will always change whatever is going on that you would like to change. Is there anything in your world, like, are you going one step forward into joy and then 2 steps back? Who are you trying to please? What have you decided you must fit into? And if you were really choosing this joyful you that you are, and maybe you have met it every once in a while, have you had that moment where this joy was bubbling up? Something, you saw something, you heard something, and it was like, wow, this bubbling, sparkling champagne or whatever carbonated juice energy that came up in you. And then what? What did you choose then? Some people in my past, in my family, used to say, oh, don't be so silly. What if silly is actually a wonderful energy? How silly can we all be every moment of the day? Joy. Joy is a great energy that will, your joy actually will also lead you to the places and spaces that you might dream of or you wish to have in your life. So joy is this indicator. It's like a star in the sky that you can follow if you choose to. And what if you don't make everybody else's reality more valid and greater than yours? How many people do you know that are really joyful? And it doesn't mean that it's not that joy, that frantic joy, more the joyful energy that also allows for you to create. If you followed it, what would happen? Let's say one morning you drive down the road that you always drive down, And then you have this, you see something on the side of the road and it has this joyful energy. What if you stopped? And so what happens in this moment when you see that joyful thing on the side of the road, whatever that is, a garden gnome sitting there looking at you, all right? So, and you go, oh, this would be so fun. What is this? What happens then in this moment? Do you look at the clock? Oh, I'm going to be late. Or, it's just a thing that somebody is throwing away or whatever. Like, watch that. Watch what is coming up for you, where you come up with reasons and justifications. Why not? Why not stop at the store and give it maybe 5 minutes? Walk in and see what is there. I walked into a very cool store. Actually, I was on a journey, like I wanted to see a gallery, and the gallery was closed very early in the day. And okay, I didn't make it wrong. And I thought, wow, I wonder what else is here. What did I come here to see today? And so I walked in another store and discovered so much. I had great conversations and it was so inspiring. So many colors, so many possibilities. And it's just, what if that is just an energy? You don't have to pick up the garden gnome and take it home. But what if you stop and you give it some attention? You give it some curiosity. It's like, wow, what is it? What is so joyful about this thing for me? Is it the colors? Is it the shape? Is it maybe the possibility of garden gnomes that might exist for you or not? And so, and if it is, if somebody gives it away, well, if it is joyful for you, take it home. Maybe repair the chip that is in it and put it in your garden. There are so many things that would love to contribute to us and we don't pay attention. We leave them on the side of the road. We don't walk into the store. So that one store, then I walked into the next store and it was like almost like, you know, you eat one fabulous like tasting of ice cream and it's just this explosion in your mouth, and then you try the peach ice cream and it just explodes more. Like one of those things where I had this when I walked into all these places and talked with people and saw things, and time was not existing. So who knows, like I was not aware of time. I spent hours with these people and it created so much. And so sometimes we don't even find out what it is creating. But what is at risk if you went out of your own way? So what is at risk? You could write this down, you know, take a piece of paper and just sit down. And it's not a wrongness. It's not, don't make yourself wrong. The moment you make yourself wrong, you cannot change it. It's not wrong. It's just a choice. So sit down and write down what is at risk. If I would choose what is joyful to me, what's at risk? What different choice would I have to make in my life? And also watch where you go with that. If I ask you, what would you have to give up? Where do you go with this? Do you go right away to, oh, I must give up all the things that I like? What if instead you gave up judgment? What else can you give up? So this energy of joy is something that we all can invite into our lives. Like you can choose it. It's like, okay, whatever that is, I'm choosing it now. And when you see something that is joyful to you, when you go to a place that is joyful, or you see a beautiful flower and it creates that joy in you, you can then in that very moment choose it. You can say, wow, that energy, I'm choosing it. And the moment you go to sadness or to any conclusion, or you judge you, the moment you judge you, you can ask, wow, what's beyond this? What is beyond judgment for me? and my body? What is beyond judgment? What is beyond sadness? Wow, what was that again that gave me joy the other day? And you bring up that you recall the flower that you saw, and it's like, wow, that energy, I'm choosing it. Where is it? It's not gone. Nothing is ever lost. We just so much entrained with everybody else's realities, where people go to conclusions. The conclusion that, oh, it didn't work. Oh, the store, I could have said, oh, the gallery's closed. That's bad. I went all the way here, and it was like a 1.5 hour drive, and all my time, and time is money, which is a lie. And I could have concluded that it's really wrong. I could have gotten really mad, but I wasn't. So would you be willing to change that, where you got mad about something? Like, what makes you be mad? Like, it's a conclusion usually. Like, oh, now I wasted all these hours. Did you? Did I waste anything? What if we are constantly creating? Every choice we make, every second, every fraction of second is creating. Are you all, and also all of you who see this in the future, are you willing to choose joy? And so when you find yourself not choosing joy, it's like, okay, what else can I choose here right now? So what is at risk with you being the joyful you? Because, here comes a secret. You, the you are, is joy. So you could ask, if I was being me, what would be my energy? What would be the energies of me? You can also ask your body. I love that question. Body, show me me. Body, show me me. You can ask this in any moment, and your body will abide. And it's not that your body will have a human voice and start talking with you. It usually doesn't show up that way. But play with it and see what it changes when you do that. Body, show me me. It is a wonderful tool, and your body is your partner in creation here on the planet. It is here with you, and you create it, and you create every single moment of your life. So what is at risk? If you were the joyful you truly are, what's at risk? Write that down and see what you come up with. What is at risk? What would happen? Would maybe people not like you anymore? So what? If they don't like you being joyful, are they truly your friends? So you can look then at your list and choose. Choose. Doesn't mean you have to cut off these people. It doesn't mean you have to exclude them. But what if you include you? And what if you start that today? And that is and will be a magical adventure. You will have snags in the road. You will have bumps and rocks and whatever, because you have put them there. Haha. So go around them. What if you keep walking and not give up? Do you have any questions? I feel as if I've talked so much. Yeah. Oh, hi.
This is very thought-provoking. What if I'm so used to being serious and knowing how to act and, raising kids, and then you think, well, I want to be joyful. Then you start second guessing what's wrong with her? She's always been so serious. It's like, how do you just not worry about what they're saying? It's like, why are you like this?
Yeah, That's a great question, because, you know, those who are with you and around you and they live with you, they are used to you being whatever you were in the past. And now when we make that change and we choose something different, it might be that they get little hiccups in their universe. So you could ask, what energy, space, and consciousness can I and my body be that would allow us to be the energy that they can receive. And then see what that creates, because we can how can I say this, we can change our energy slightly. But what if you don't give up your joy? And this doesn't mean that you laugh constantly and you don't stop laughing, or, you know, it's like, what's it going to take for them to have, what are the infinite possibilities for them to have ease with me being joyful? You can also say to them, oh, you know, I'm choosing more joy in my life. Hey, maybe we can all choose that. But what if you don't give up you? What if you, and it, you know, it might be that at first they think, oh, she is like blah, 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 whatever they say. But maybe they will also find this appreciation for you being different. And so everywhere you have concluded that they will be totally upset about you being joyful, and this is the reason why you cannot choose it. Are you willing to let that go?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Yes.
What if that is not true? Is this actually true that they would discard you? Is it true that they would like cut off and hate you? Like, what is your story? That is also a wonderful thing to do. You could write down your story around that. So this is this theme of, I was truly joyful in choosing it. What's at risk? Write that down. Write that whole story down that you have been telling yourself for a long time, and write it down. And then when you are finished writing it down, ask yourself, is this actually absolutely, utterly true? That's a great exercise. Okay, so don't do it. Don't choose it. And so then so another thing to look at could be, so what? So whose reality are you validating? Whose reality are we validating when we choose against us? You can also look at what can you create for yourself, where you make that space for you, the joyful you. And then when, like, I don't know whether that will work for you, you could choose around them to be a slightly different energy. You could have like a sad face on, so they have more ease. So you slowly introduce it. But then the trick would be not to believe into the sad face that you have on for them, and not to make it real and believe it for yourself. Do you get what I want to say?
Mm-hmm.
This is called manipulation, where we show up as the energy that they require, but then we don't believe it true and make it true and solidify it, and then go down the droopy lane and become sad again, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you can really experiment with this.
So if I write the story, I can then come back and say all my points of view that I have here. I just try and create them all.
Yeah. A story is always points of view. You can really look at what your points of view are, which is wonderful. And if you are willing to be really honest with yourself, write this all down. And it is not about the wrongness of you or that you are wrong, but it's really at looking at what have you been telling yourself up until now. And it might be a great insight and awareness for you. And then when the thing is, when we have the awareness, then we can change it. look at the points of view you have about it and ask, is this actually absolutely, utterly, infinitely true? And, you know, if it is a yes, okay. If it is a no, okay. Nothing is right, nothing is wrong. But then when you find that it's not true, it's like, how many of us have been telling ourselves lies? And what can we create actually when we tell ourselves lies? Do we have infinite possibilities or finite? Lies are the very walls of the box that we build around us. And lies are invasive, and they create all kinds of things that are not really contributory to us. What if you were truly honest with yourself? Judging you, is this actually, are all these judgments true? You might find out that people will actually be very grateful for you being you. It might be that this is the you that they met in the very beginning. You know, these things, they sneak in so slowly. It's like water is slowly working the stone. And then all of a sudden, we have this reality that we made up, and we live with it as if this is unchangeable and we must never change it because we will lose everybody. And then, is this actually true? Who did you lose? Right? And it is not wrong. Like, see, we can even smile at that, because then once you find these points of view that you have, it's great, bravo. Then you can change it. You can use the access consciousness clearing statement and just say, pot and pock all that, right? What else can I tell myself? What else can I choose? And so another question you could ask is, if I chose joy, what would my future be like? What would my life be like in 5 years, 10 years, in 50 years? What would my children's life be like? You can ask, what would the earth be like in 5 years, 10 years, 50 years? And even if your kids have points of view, are you willing to be an allowance of that?
It creates more ease.
What?
That creates more ease, just you saying that.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Receiving judgment is a good practice, you know. Doesn't mean that you take it, but you let it flow through you. It just doesn't mean anything. It's just a point of view that somebody else has. But what if you don't allow that to stop you?
Thank you.
You are so very welcome.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for these questions. They are great. These are exactly the stopping points that we make more real than our choice for joy. And, you know, these people that we think we will lose, will we actually? They might have some upset times, and it might be some stormy waters, but can we move through them and be still okay? And also allow for them, see, the whole dynamics will change. We all entrain to each other, we are used to each other. So when the other one that we live with, or the other people, if it's several, when they make different choices, the dynamics change. And usually we resist change. So what if we don't? We can also use the energy of joy to move us through the more stormy waters. And there is this question, like, what oh, I just discovered I have all kinds of oil paint on my hand. Oh, cool. So like find that which gives you joy. You know, whatever class or whatever you discover gives you joy, and then practice that, do that. It will assist you with being fine through the stormy waters. Who said that everything will always be flat, which is also flat lined? What if life is not like that? And what if we can still be okay with everything and not lose ourselves in the process, but really have our own backs? So that's the exercise for this coming week. What's at risk with you being the joyful you that you truly are and have given up once upon a time in a fairy tale? So write down that story. And you know, it could also be for those of you who are artists, what's at risk with you being the joyful artist and the thriving artist? And see what points of view are there. Write that story and look at it, really. And the more honest you can be with yourself, the better. The more you will find, and then change it. You can just say, I'm changing this. What is beyond all of this? And get the awareness of that. What is beyond all of these stories for all of you? Do you get the energy right now? Are you all willing to choose that without the need to define it, without knowing exactly what that is? But are you willing to choose that energy, to choose that space? It's like as simple as, wow, that I'm choosing it. I'm choosing it. Universe, help me here. Earth, help me out. I'm choosing it. So do you have any other questions?
No, that's it. Thank you so much.
You are so very welcome. Thank you for being here live. That's really awesome. That gives me such a joyful energy. And what can you create? I will post the replay on YouTube and in our Facebook group. So you have the link, you can re-listen to it. And I'm so very much looking forward to next Monday morning. And what joy is possible? What can you create? Keep creating. I see you soon. Bye.